Am I the asshole for refusing to talk my kids into forgiving their dad? My kid's dad and I were married for a decade. He cheated on me multiple times and ended up leaving me for one of the women. This all came out during our anniversary party, which he actively helped me to plan. He went home with her that night and our marriage was over. I was heartbroken, angry, humiliated. Worse still was people in his life knew about it. His younger brother and 2 of his friends were actively encouraging it and laughing behind my back, and he was joining them. Finding it all out was hard. But our kids never heard it from me what happened. I learned how to fake a smile and civility, and I learned how to keep a distance without tension or bringing my kids into it. He and his wife treated the kids well, and I tried to focus on that while my kids were around so they would never know. I have healed, but there will always be some anger there. Not because of the cheating exactly, but the way he treated. The allowing me to believe things were fine while laughing behind my back with his buddies to humiliate me when we were supposed to be celebrating a milestone with our friends and family. And even after he wasn't exactly kind to me. My kids and I always had a good relationship, and this seems to have bothered my ex's wife, who they were never very close, and she started drinking a few years ago. All the kids are grown now, so it wasn't a huge concern to me. But a few weeks ago she seemingly decided to rant and rave at the kids, revealing the affair and saying they treated her unfairly. The kids are mad at their dad and her. My ex came and asked me to talk to them and convince them to forgive him. I refused. He claimed I was an ass and putting my feelings above theirs. But in reality, we have talked. I have told them they should not put my feelings into this, but I won't tell them not to be mad. They know more than I ever would have wanted them to know, even if I had chosen to tell them myself, which I never did. I didn't want to burden them or make them feel like they had to pick sides. I wanted them to have a healthy childhood. Am I the asshole if I don't encourage them to forgive their dad? I know my ex is mostly worried he won't get to be a grandfather to our 5th grandchild if the kids cut him off. Not the asshole at all. Kids learned this from his new wife and he wants you to tell them how to feel. That is a special kind of stupid. Not the asshole. You behaved really admirably here, and your kids can see that. Everyone's living with the consequences of their actions. Not the asshole. Your kids are their own people. They'll forgive him in their own time, or not. He made his bed and now he has to lie on it. Not the asshole. Op, you are awesome. You have the character that I aspire to have, but know that I won't. I might not have told the kids, but when that real asshole approached me to make it better for him, I would have unleashed all those years of suppressed emotions, anger. He'd be lucky the dog didn't bite him. Not the asshole. I wonder what the new wife thought she was trying to achieve by telling them that. Lol. He made his bed, now he can lie in it. Not the asshole. My kids and I always had a good relationship, and this seems to have bothered my ex's wife, who they were never very close. I'm sorry, what? What is with that woman? This is so bizarre. Your kids are affecting her, why? Not the asshole. Op. I really admire your resilience and the way you handled this. Not the asshole. Your kids are grown up and capable of having their own feelings and opinions. Your ex's wife is the one who chose to reveal things to them, not you. They were disgusted without any influence whatsoever from you, and you don't have to put yourself back into that mess to make things easier on your ex. If your husband didn't want to face any consequences for cheating ever, he shouldn't have cheated. Not the asshole. And let me tell you that you are a wonderful person. Not a lot of people is this strong and sensitive to not try to take vengeance or alienate the kids. By the way, your ex-husband is the asshole, and a huge one. Not the asshole. He needs to mend his own fences. He and his wife are solely responsible for the cheating, ridiculing, and that the kids knowing. Besides, he deserves their contempt. I fucked you over and the fucked myself by telling them that I fucked you over. Can you talk them into forgiving me? Edit. Not the asshole, of course. Not the asshole. Your kids are adults and they are allowed to make their own informed decisions about how they feel and respond to things. Your ex cheated on you and you protected him from the wrath of your children for years. They found out because his wife couldn't keep her mouth shut out of jealousy. Your ex spent months, if not years, laughing about his affairs behind your back and now expects you to save his honor and dignity. You are under no obligation to help him after his behavior during your marriage. Not the asshole. Wasn't your mistake. Not your mess to fix. NTA. He actively humiliated the mother of those children. He chose to cheat and these are the consequences of his actions choices. Parents never think about how their children will feel when they grow up, and he's now facing it. From the Post, your kids are not small kids but grown-ups. They find their father and new wife actions bad. They think for themselves and now ex is pissed he was an ass early on. He can go on and reflect on how humiliating his kid's mother made him lost their respect. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your kids are adults now. They can and will make up their own minds. Not the asshole. Your kids are now grown, and entitled to their own feelings. You are not the one who spilled the beans. If your ex wants to be forgiven, he needs to talk to his children himself. It is never a parent's job to invalidate the feelings of their children. It sounds like you are absolutely doing what is best for yourself and your children. If dad is that upset about it, he can try and fix it himself. Even if my husband did something wrong, I'd not try and talk my kids out of their emotions. The fact that this is your ex, an ex who sounds like he was an asshole to begin with, is astounding to me. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. What did she thought to accomplish by revealing her affair with their dad? What was her thought process here? That's just wild. Not the asshole. My mom made it a rule for herself to never say a negative thing about her first husband, sperm donor and all-around ass. My brother and I heard that he loved us all the time. From her. We didn't hear from him at all. If one of her friends started talking about him, she'd make them stop. No poisoning us against him. Eventually I sat her down and explained to her that we were, in fact, not stupid. We knew he didn't love us because he'd never bothered with us. She even tried to convince me that it wasn't his fault that he was like he was. You've done nothing to poison the well, he did that all by himself and you owe him nothing. Not the asshole. You're trying not to sway their feelings in either direction, and they seem to know the facts. They will make up their own minds someday. Not the asshole. Funny how he didn't take your feelings into account when he cheated on you multiple times and even laughed about it with his mates during and afterwards. You reap what you sow and he is finally reaping. Not the asshole. He made his bed. Woman shrugging. Not the asshole. You shouldn't be a gatekeeper for their relationship with their father. The kids are now adults and can make adult decisions on who they want to spend time with and have a good relationship with. Keep being the awesome person you are and let them make their own decisions. To ex, let me get this right. Your wife got drunk and aired your dirty laundry to our adult children. Our children are now mad at the both of you. And somehow this is all my fault. You are delusional to say the least. Our children are adults and are fully capable of thinking for themselves. I will stay out of this. It is not my responsibility to clean up after the mess your wife created. Regarding your ex's concerns about access to future grandchildren, I would say this. If wife number 2 is now a drunk, I would be very concerned about her having access to any future grandchildren, particularly unsupervised. That is where I might make a comment when the time comes. Child safety trumps everything. You are so not the asshole, but your ex and his wife are, and idiots to boot. Not the asshole. Life lesson to your ex. If you don't want to be treated like an ass, don't act like an ass. It's time he felt some consequences on his actions. Not the asshole. Their feelings on this are valid. They can't help how they feel about it right now, and you telling them not to be mad won't work. They're going to have to work through their feelings on their own. My parents split for the same reason, so I can tell you without a doubt that your kids need to come to that sort of conclusion on their own. I fought with my parents for years because I hated my father and his wife. And honestly, I can't tell if I forgave them because I wanted it or because I was tired of fighting it. You're not the asshole. You're doing exactly what you should be doing. I'm so sorry your ex is an asshole. I understand what it's like. Not the asshole. Your ex's wife fucked up and now they blame it on you. Depending on your kid's age, they can make their own decision about this already, so you are in the right not to talk them out of something. Those people are toxic AF. For your children and your own good, I would cut them out of your life entirely. Man, this board has become useless. The only threads that hit my front page anymore are these 1,000,000% not the asshole situations. Not the asshole. I would be pissed too if I found out my dad cheated. All the kids are grown now, so it wasn't a huge concern to me. Not the asshole. The above quoted line is the reason. The children are grown-ass adults and able to make their own decisions. Ex doesn't like the fact his kids don't like him? Tough shit. That was the grave he dug. You did your part by being the bigger person when they were growing up. Sis. Seriously. You've already done way more for this guy than he deserved. I don't think it would have hurt this kids any to tell them simply why you were divorcing, and I especially don't think it's bad that as adults they care that he hurt you. Your feelings about it do matter, actually. I wouldn't want to spend time with someone who had treated my mom this way, regardless of who they were. Stop questioning if you owe this man help. He fired you from the job of his helper. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. After what he pulled, you owe him absolutely zero favors. You were already incredibly kind hiding his actions from his kids for so long. NTA besides cheating, mocking and laughing at your partner behind their back is abusive. Setting up a huge party that is supposed to be celebrating your love and actually using it to leave them and show them how little they mean to you in front of all your friends and family is beyond cruel. The fact you can be civil with that man and allowed your kids to grow up thinking it was just a normal mutual divorce is a gift that man did not deserve. You do not owe him a single thing. Your kids are adults now. I'd black him on everything besides email and not waste any more energy thinking of him. Not the asshole. Not one bit. The new wife is a bit of a moron for thinking she could have a better relationship with your kids than you, and she's a child for throwing her toys out of the pram when it didn't go well. Your ex, well, no one needs to tell you how much of an ass he is because you know that better than us. As a child of split parents, you've done the absolute best thing by keeping your own emotions out of it, so fuck him and his hurt feelings. As you said, your kids are grown and his hurt pride is so not your problem. Not the asshole. You are no longer under any obligation to speak to him or his wife ever again. Anything your kids want the both of you to know can now be done directly through them. Block their phone numbers, social media, etc. Cut these toxic jerks out of your life and continue living as you see fit. Not the asshole. OMG, tell him to go punch sand. He is a fucking asshole that deserves this. He made his bed, he can fucking lay in it. If he is worried that he won't be a grandfather to the kids, he shouldn't have been a wanker. I would have cut contact after that, my god. Not the asshole. 1000x not the asshole. You're a model parent, TBH. It sounds like their dad was less stable and a jerk. And you kept your head held high and were the best you could be for your children, no matter how much it hurt you. Children pick up on these things, even if they aren't said. Your ex is a user and a jerk, and it sounds like the only good thing he gave you besides a handful of good memories was those children, and you stepped up to the role and did right by them and yourself. It's time for everyone here to reap what they've sown you, a long healthy life as a grandma and mother to your babies and their babies and him. Well, he didn't exactly plant good seeds. I'm in a similar but still different situation, and in it, I am the child. I would not want my mom to tell me how to feel. Of course, she is encouraging me to have a conversation with my father and give him a chance to explain his side, his feelings, etc. But she is not being pushy about it. I feel like he is expecting me to start the conversation. I think she knows that too, hence the gentle nudging. The way I see it, he is the one who messed up. He should step up and initiate this dialogue with me if he really wants to. My mother has nothing to do with this. I have a great relationship with her, so I would not want it ruined by her forcing me to forgive my father before I am ready or before the two of us worked it out. So, not the asshole. I think you are behaving exactly as you should. All the kids are grown now, so it wasn't a huge concern to me. Not the asshole. Seems like it's out of your hands anyway. If he wants to fix his relationship with his grown kids, he can act like a grown man and start a conversation like grown adults. Absolutely not the asshole. I'm very sorry this happened to you, and you can be extremely proud for the way you handled yourself since it happened. Just keep your head high and live life. Not the asshole. He treated you abysmally and destroyed your marriage. He's never faced any consequences for that and thinks that somehow you owe him. Your kids are older now and can make their own decisions. They can also draw their own conclusions as to what kind of man their father is. Not the asshole. You have already acted not only to protect your children as best you could, but you did so by respecting everyone's feelings, except possibly your own. You owe your ex nothing. Not the asshole. If the kids are grown, why are you allowing your ex and his wife to corrupt your life with their bullshit? Not the asshole. Your children are adults. It's not your place to interfere in adult relationships. I think it's good you and your kids had a talk, but that's all. I'm really sorry you went through that. Not the asshole. I think you've dealt with this in a beautiful way. Your kids are old enough now to form their own opinions and feelings, and you don't need to sway them one way or another for your ex. It is up to your kids and your ex to fix their relationship. It's not your responsibility. Not the asshole. You didn't trash talk him or try to alienate them from him. They have every right to be angry, and it's his job, not yours, to step up and try to make things right. Maybe he should talk to his children himself. Apologize for all the bullshit he put you and them through. Maybe then they can start to forgive him and move on. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It is not your responsibility to clean up after your ex and his wife. Furthermore, your kids are old enough that they are going to decide how to feel about being lied to for years by your ex, and honestly he doesn't deserve their forgiveness, and neither does the bitter wife who caused this issue so long after it had occurred simply because she wants to be loved by your kids without putting in the effort.